Keanu Reeves is back, and he's better than ever, and that's way better than Dark Phoenix's opening weekend, which isn't a high bar. Plus, Gwyneth Paltrow is so famous that she can't even remember what movies she's in. We're talking about all of that and more. I'm Brandon Davis. You are watching Comic Book Now. Well, it's the big show called Comic Book Nation.
Yeah, here we are.
This is Chris Killian. I'm Brandon Davis. Please call me BD if we're friends. That's what you should do. It's a slow news week.
Pretty slow.
There's just not much happening.
But we're gonna make a show out of it.
We got a huge show today.
We got a lot
big
of
show.
great
We're
stuff.
very excited about it. Obviously the biggest thing right now in our world is Dark Phoenix, which is the opposite of the biggest thing. It's actually quite a small thing.
Yeah.
If you look at its box office, let's start there. The Dark Phoenix definitely did not rise over the weekend at the box office. The latest and last of the X-Men franchise crashed hard, opening with not only the lowest review score on Rotten Tomatoes of the X-Men franchise, but also the smallest box office haul with only $33 million in the U.S. I make that by getting out of bed.
Yeah, that's you driving around that Jaguar.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's the first X-Men movie to take in less than $50 million in its opening weekend. It's a disaster. There's no way around it. But it got a little shred of hope internationally with $107 million coming in overseas. So with all those reshoots, maybe they'll be able to pay for this movie. So a massive franchise, an all-star cast, and a disastrous weekend. So let's just talk. Comment section, play along, please. Where did Dark Phoenix go wrong?
Well, JR in the comments is coming in hot with Sansa ruins everything.
Wow, JR.
Yeah.
I don't think this was Sophie Turner's fault.
No, this was not her fault.
No, she wasn't great.
No.
She wasn't the reason the movie was bad. I think everybody mailed it in except for Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, we've talked about this. We talked about it on the podcast last week.
Comic Book Nation podcast,
Jennifer
give it a
Lawrence
listen.
She was the epitome of phoning it in. Like her, I want to go back and watch Justice League and just see who looked like they were more disinterested in being there. Was it Jennifer Lawrence or Ben Affleck?
Yeah, well, at least Jennifer Lawrence was probably like, well, I want to be here so little, get me out and kill me in a trailer. I don't care. As you're seeing right there, right now, they literally killed a major character in a trailer, which took all the emotion out of the scene in the film because you knew it was coming.
Well, I think Jennifer Lawrence's acting took all the emotion out of the scene, but that's okay.
And I mean, it was a tough. Look, I don't think the movie was particularly bad. Like, it had moments that seemed cheap. I don't think it was very interesting, but I just know that it wasn't good.
Yeah,
it's just a movie that exists.
Caleb says it went wrong because Keanu wasn't in it, which I kind of agree with.
Oh yeah, everything needs more Keanu Reeves these days.
And you know what? Hollywood's picking up on that too because he's in everything.
Do you think? Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a little bit. Do you think this movie suffered because people know it's the last one? Because on the other hand, Endgame had the same thing.
I don't think that's what hurt it so much. I think there's a lot of stuff that went into hurting this. I think Apocalypse, becoming kind of it was a movie. I think Apocalypse hurt it because people lost a lot of enthusiasm, I think, for the X-Men franchise after that. I think a lot of what we're not talking about is the Bryan Singer attachment has hurt it.
You think that actually hurt it?
Oh, because I think Bryan Singer's so connected to the X-Men franchise. I don't think that's the only thing that hurt it, but I think it factored in.
I really do think that the fact that people know this story is inconsequential because these characters are going to go to the MCU after this in one way or another, and it probably won't be for a long time. I think that was a huge factor. I think that these comic book movies are in part hugely driven by the speculation, by the fun of predicting what's next and picking up clues on what's next. And the movie had none of that because it didn't have. And I also think the review score is a result of the reshoots, which they said that it had to be reshot because it bore similarities to Captain America: Civil War and Captain Marvel. I see people in the comment section blaming Simon Kinberg. I don't think it's all on Simon Kinberg. I think Simon Kinberg made the best of what he had, and I think he would have liked to do this differently if he had complete control.
I mean, this is the second time they're trying to adapt the Dark Phoenix storyline within the same franchise. So, I mean, that had to hurt it. I mean, I think this was just bad buzz all the way around. I think there was a lot of things going against it. I think a lot of people were already like, oh, well, that was the worst X-Men movie out of all of them that we'd already seen.
But it wasn't.
Well,
this was not the worst X-Men movie. And I'm not even including Wolverine Origins or other, it has to have X-Men in the title, it has to be an ensemble film. This is not the worst film. It was better than Apocalypse, if you ask me, and it was better than X3.
Oh, this, yeah, I'm saying this. I'm talking about Last Stand.
Oh,
I'm talking
sorry,
about
sorry.
the fact that you're saying, you know,
I might
you're going
read.
like you're remaking the same storyline from what we already view as the worst
Oh,
X-Men
yeah,
movie.
right, exactly. You got to redo, and you still couldn't exactly nail it. I mean, if you guys saw X-Men Dark Phoenix, let us know your thoughts in the comment section because we appreciate hearing from you. I just think Dark Phoenix it'll come and go, and that's all I want to talk about it. I think it'll come and go on the show as well. More interesting, if you ask me, a tweet we all expected to wake up to this morning. Justin Bieber challenged Tom Cruise to a fight. Excuse me? Yeah, no, really, that's a 2019 story. Justin Bieber, I'm going to read this in Justin Bieber's voice. I want to challenge Tom Cruise to a fight in the octagon.
That's Michael Jackson's voice.
No, that's Tom. If you don't take this fight, you're scared and you will never live it down. Who is willing to put on the fight? At Dana White, the head of UFC. Here's the thing, Biebs. I'll fill in for Tom Cruise and I'll fight you. Happily. I'll do it. Let's do it. Make me famous. Come on. I'll win.
I like this side of Justin Bieber. I want to see Justin Bieber challenge more people to a fight.
This is so stupid. This is so stupid. First of all, my money's on Tom Cruise.
I might, you know, I don't know. Maybe.
If this were actually happen, I know Justin Bieber is a bazillionaire and he'll get the best trainer in the world and he'll go on the best diet in the world and he'll become an actual MMA fighter after that. Like he'll go into that fight knowing how to fight at a certain level, but so would Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I'm not saying Tom Cruise would.
Have you seen Jack Reacher?
I think it would be a great fight, but Tom Cruise is like 30 years older than Justin Bieber, and he's also like 2 or 3 inches shorter.
I'd be so happy to watch Justin Bieber.
I think it'd be great.
Tom Cruise, or Tom Cruise beat up Justin Bieber.
I mean, we were talking the difference between they're crazy too. Like Justin Bieber's kind of crazy in his own right, but he's like drunk teenager crazy.
You
like,
got to pat this kid down
but
before the fight because
Tom worships aliens. I mean, so. It could be a good fight.
Justin Bieber assaults baristas in Starbucks, so I don't know.
Also, he's in the Baldwin family now.
I miss Justin Bieber. If you're watching, I know you're a huge Comic Book Now fan. Fight me. All right, I think that's enough of that. Let us know who you think would win in a fight, Tom Cruise or Justin Bieber. And Conor McGregor also issued the same challenge to Mark Wahlberg. I don't know what's going on over there. Maybe they're just bored counting money and they're like, let's send some stupid tweets. Problems to have. Anyway, it was an interesting weekend here in Nashville, Tennessee. CMA Fest was in town, which included a pretty legendary. Right now, he's really on top of things. Got a whole bunch of #1 hits. Got a new album on the way.
You know, you say that, but I still don't know who he is.
Wow. Well, you're about to. His name is Chris Young. He's also a huge comic book fan. We caught up with him over the weekend here in Nashville. Check it out. Hey, ComicBook.com, BD here. We're at CMA Fest in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm with Chris Young. Chris, you talk a lot about country music this week, I'm sure.
Yes.
So I want to give you a little break from it because I know you're a big comic book fan.
Huge.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. Probably started as a kid. I think the first comic book that I actually picked up was my dad had a Silver Surfer comic.
Oh, okay.
And so that was like kind of my first introduction, and then I like went on and found a whole bunch of other stuff that I fell in love with. Was still am, huge Wolverine fan.
Okay.
So, coming up, that was one of the first things that I like learned to draw, was just trying to copy comic book art.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, it sounds like you may have answered this, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Marvel or DC?
It's got to be Marvel.
It is a tough one.
And right now the thing with the movies are just, they can't be beat.
So I'm gonna guess you've seen then Avengers Endgame.
Oh, all right. So I went to see Avengers Endgame in a suit because all of my friends were like, "We're gonna wait. We're gonna see it next week," and I knew someone would spoil something. And I was coming out of an event, and I was like, "I bet there's a movie in the afternoon that I can get in."
And there were tickets available.
There were 2 tickets left, and so I bought both of them so nobody had to sit next to me. And I called all of my friends, and they were all busy, and they were so mad because they're like, "We were gonna wait and all go together." Like, I've got one friend group that any comic book movie that comes out, we all go together. So I'm really sorry. Especially, I've got a friend named Key. So if he sees this, my bad dude, he was really mad at me.
But you can't wait because once you open social media, it's game over.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh yeah, Iron Man," and you can't take that chance.
No.
But so now Endgame has kind of concluded the MCU, right? But you're a big Wolverine, Silver Surfer guy. You're expecting the X-Men. Do you want to see Avengers X-Men crossover? Is that like?
Man, all right. So that's the dream, right?
But
if you could get all of that to actually happen, but they'll never make it. They're never going to be able to do it.
And let me switch to DC real quick.
Okay.
Robert Pattinson is Batman.
Yes.
Who is your favorite Batman, and what do you think of this?
I don't know what I think of it yet. But my thing that I've always learned is when they cast somebody and they seem really, really excited about it, I'll wait and I want to see that person in the role. I mean, I don't think anybody had any idea, Heath Ledger was going to be as great in that role as he was. Christian Bale, same way. Like if I had to pick somebody that was my favorite up to this point, it was probably him.
Oh, he killed it.
He was great.
He killed it, man. Well, thank you so much. Are you reading any books right now?
You know what?
Do you have time to read books right now?
I try when I'm on the road. If I'm like anywhere
on an
near
app or something?
Either on an app or I actually love going to get physical comics.
I'm
still,
the same way.
There was a store right down the street when we were in the UK. Actually, we had a day off, and one of my crew is a girl named Lolo Kinsler, and she's into comic books as well. She was like, I think there's a comic book store down the street. And so we, four of us got up and we all went.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm super into it.
Sweet,
super
man. Well, enjoy CMA Fest. Congrats on all the success. And try to keep reading, man. I know
Absolutely.
It's to find time.
Hey,
thanks, everybody.
I'll find the time.
Over the weekend, E3 has been going down in Los Angeles, showcasing all the new video games. I don't know if you heard this one, but Keanu Reeves continues to kill the game. Get it? Game? Okay. Reeves is playing a part in the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 game we're all very excited about. And this is not just a cameo. John Wick himself is going to play a key character in this game, slated for release on April 16th, 2020. It's been in development since 2013, and the first real look came out last year. But now we finally know this game from the same team that developed The Witcher is pretty close. The graphics are incredible, as you can see in this video right here by my side. And it's basically a whole bunch of characters that look like they were pulled out of Alita Battle Angel. They're all cyborgs and they all look really cool. And then Keanu Reeves at the very end of the trailer appears to be playing Winter Soldier. You can see him there in that photo. So I'm here for it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I'm excited. I'm gonna finally have a video game to play. Both Xbox and PlayStation. But Xbox is the superior console.
No, it's not.
Don't at me.
Stop,
Xbox is better
stop,
than PlayStation.
stop.
Xbox is better than PlayStation.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Not even a little.
Facts only.
Nope.
I only speak facts.
No, the whole reason they even announced their new Xbox is because they got to beat PlayStation to the punch, because once PlayStation announces the 5, it's done, and Xbox is going to lose.
Xbox 360 was way better than PlayStation 3.
Not facts.
Xbox One is better than Oh, woof. Nope. Gets out here. Anyway, let's move on. How about this one? Oh, that's my phone. Who is it? It's Brittany. She said my mic is scratching my shirt. There we go. Gwyneth Paltrow legit did not know she was in Spider-Man Homecoming. So imagine being that famous. You had no idea where your paychecks are even coming from. To be fair, Marvel is very secretive, but I mean, still, let's just watch this clip. It's from a Netflix show with Jon Favreau. Where
What
he's
is this
a
TV
chef.
show
Here we go.
for?
We don't
Nobody
know.
knows.
You don't know.
We don't really know. It's like I started just filming. We were actually doing it when we were filming Spider-Man. That was the first time. We just brought a film crew with us down to Atlanta, and we cooked at the Optimist. And we had a
Spider-Man?
dinner. Well, yeah, we were in Spider-Man together. Remember we were on Spider-Man?
We weren't in Spider-Man.
She swears.
Yes, we were.
She says Spider-Man like my mom says Spider-Man.
You were
Like she
Spider-Man.
kind of like.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I was in Avengers.
No, you were in
Avengers.
Spider-Man also. It's
What?
become. Remember Spider-Man at the end, and Tom Holland's there, and you're going to walk out and do a press
Who's
conference.
Tom Holland? Imagine if she was
Yes.
That was Spider-Man.
That was Spider-Man? Oh my God.
Imagine living that life.
She lives a blessed life.
Oof. Didn't she just get married
I don't know.
over the weekend? Congrats to Gwyneth Paltrow, and also congrats on
well,
being in
I know
Spider-Man.
I read the article that her and her husband only stay together 4 days a week, and then they go to their separate house.
Do you think he knew she was in Spider-Man?
Probably.
Yeah. All right. Sticking with Marvel, the first look at Loki, the upcoming Disney Plus show, was revealed, and plus Kevin Feige's in the same photo, so that's cool. So let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at it. Behind the president of Marvel Studios in this photo is some concept art. The logo for Loki looks like it's going to be set in the 70s, based on the scenery there, some of the outfits, some of the cars, and a Jaws billboard. It seems to confirm the rumors of Loki exploring different points throughout human history. That kind of has been floating around for a while now. We haven't gotten much details on it. And this is really the first official notice from Disney about it at all. We still don't know for sure if this Loki that we're seeing in this photo is the Loki who dipped out of New York City in Avengers Endgame with the Tesseracts, because the whole time travel element doesn't add up. The Space Stone, which is in the Tesseract, can't help him through time. We'll figure that out, I'm sure, when the series gets here. But the God of Mischief might have something up his sleeve. He always does. And let's switch over to DC now before we wrap it up here. Bad news for the fans on that side. Swamp Thing, already canceled. You knew this. But now the show, it's been getting rave reviews, really. But it was dead on arrival, surprising even executive producer James Wan. But it might not be the show itself's fault. According to a report, Warner Brothers was promised a $30 million tax rebate for filming in North Carolina. And then North Carolina was like, nah, we're not providing that $30 million tax rebate. Sorry. So that means this show was a hell of a lot more expensive than it was ever supposed to be. Warner Brothers spent more on it than they wanted to. And given that I can't imagine the numbers on DC Universe are very impressive, considering half my friends don't know it exists, we can't look at the subscribers numbers, but I would like to. It's not really surprising that they canceled this show after it ended up being so expensive. But that doesn't mean this news doesn't suck any less. But there's another report.
Yeah. North Carolina has come out now and they're disputing this and saying
the state actually talked?
Yes, they're saying that this is not true. The tax rebate situation is not what's going on here.
Who do you believe?
I mean, states never lie about anything.
Well, it's a shame though. It sucks
I don't
to see
know.
that happen.
It really is. Have you watched any of it yet? It's great. I've seen the first 2 episodes. It's perfect Swamp Thing. It's everything Swamp Thing should be. The costume looks amazing. The effects are awesome for like a TV show.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I imagine that between Titans and Doom Patrol and this, those have to be expensive.
Yeah.
They can't be cheap. They're very well produced. They look great. I don't imagine DC Universe has these subscriptions to pay for these shows.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't think the marketing is there. It's not even the shows. Well, the shows are good.
I've given them about $21 at this point, so there's that. So I'm glad to have done my
Get
part.
it in an Uber. I bet your next Uber driver doesn't know DC Universe exists.
Probably not. I don't.
And I'm just saying that's a
disagree with you.
random person.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree at all. But I don't know how they're paying for it. But spending that Animaniacs cash.
Caleb here is loving the DC service, and like that. But that's the thing. If you're watching Comic Book Now, obviously you're the audience. You know the DC Universe exists. The person who doesn't live in the bubble that we exist in, that we talk about all the time, they don't know. They don't know this exists. You know? Anyway, we'll keep it with DC for a moment here. Robert Pattinson, you know he's Batman by now. Maybe you haven't seen him in things. Maybe you have. Maybe you'll disagree with what's about to come. Maybe you'll fully agree. We hope you let us know in the comment section, because Chris Killian is going to tell you why Robert Pattinson will be a great Batman.
Ever since Ben Affleck announced his departure as the Dark Knight a year ago, Warner Brothers has been dropping smoke bombs left and right to hide from the inevitable question, who will play the next Batman? Well, now the smoke is finally cleared and we've got our answer. Robert Pattinson? Yup, he's the guy responding to the bat signal for the foreseeable future. What's up, guys? I'm Chris Killian, and let's discuss why Robert Pattinson will make a great Batman. Well, for starters, he's got a Batman jawline, so there's that. But physical attributes aside, let's talk about his acting ability and just address the giant elephant in the room, Twilight. Everyone who hates Robert Pattinson seems to be hung up on the fact that he once played a sparkly vampire from Twilight. So let's go ahead and drive a stake through that one. Are the Twilight movies good? No, not at all, unless you happen to see them when you were a 12-year-old girl. But the Twilight saga came to an end over 7 years ago, and in that time, Robert Pattinson retreated out of the limelight, shunned his status as a teen sex symbol, and focused on taking interesting roles in quirky indie fare. Have you seen Good Time, or The Lost City of Z, or High Life? How about Maps to the Stars? All of these showcase an actor who's not afraid to make interesting choices. Recently, he's been getting rave reviews from critics for his performance in the upcoming black and white horror film The Lighthouse. Even in Cosmopolis, Pattinson plays a calculating billionaire and proves he's got what it takes to portray a Bruce Wayne type. So point being, ignore Twilight. He's grown exponentially since then as an actor. If anything, his involvement in Twilight proved that he has what it takes to be the face of a major franchise. I'd even go so far as to say that what made him a good fit for Edward Cullen has made him a better fit for Batman now that he's matured as an actor. Pattinson's always had a brooding mystique about him, which is an excellent quality for Batman that other actors don't innately have. At the end of the day, it's too early to not give the guy a shot. Literally thousands of fans mailed Warner Brothers and pleaded with them to not cast Michael Keaton as Batman in 1989. Message boards were set on fire when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker. It's time for upset fans to take the wait-and-see approach before jumping to conclusions. So what say you? Do you think Robert Pattinson will make a great Batman? Tell me in the comments or hit me up on Twitter at Chris Killian, and thanks for watching.
I think Pattinson's a great choice. I mean, we've had this conversation
Yeah.
here. I watched Good Time. I watched The Rover. Dude is talented.
Guy needs to put on about 30 pounds of muscle.
Oh, I mean, sure. I
good.
think you need the physique.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that now? Say guy needs to bulk up.
I think so.
Okay.
Because all the superheroes, that's. I mean, Michael Keaton didn't have a physique, but he had an awesome rubber suit.
Through the paper.
I saw that.
You know what that means?
It-
Live Q&A.
Question
There's no
time.
script for this part. You guys are the script. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Get in there. Let's talk about it. Caleb wants to know, does the Final Fantasy VII have Royale mode? Do you know anything about Final Fantasy VII? Because I don't.
No.
Me either. Let's just say yes. Yeah, sure.
Gears of War 5 has
Terminator skins.
Terminator skins and a new escape mode, which looks pretty interesting.
What is the escape mode?
It's like you were basically planted in the center of a locust horde, like while they're all asleep and they all start waking up one by one. And you got to try to get out of this compound.
Oh.
Looks cool.
That
Looks violent.
Cool. Yeah, well, I like that.
Yeah.
Brad wants to know, when do we get a Batman starring Chris Killian? No.
Not soon enough.
No.
What are you doing this weekend?
I guess we could be filming a Batman
Batman
movie.
starring Chris Killian.
Let's do it.
What comic should we adapt? Look,
do you wanna do?
Look, the Batman just came out. Last week we got a
Do
taste
Dark
of
Metal?
it. We got a taste of it on here last week. All right. Well, let's get. Do
see
we have
what
any
else
more?
we
Or should
got.
we wrap this up?
Brandon, tell us about Rick movies.
Okay, Veronica. What do you want to know? If you have a more specific question, the Fear the Walking Dead.
All about it. Just tell us the whole.
Fear the Walking Dead is tying very tightly to the Rick Grimes movies, but also not really tying tightly at all. They're playing fast and loose with it, as our Kofi Outlaw likes to say on the Comic Book Nation podcast. The 3-ring group showed up. There will be more of the 3-ring group, whatever they're actually called, the group with the little 3 symbols, the helicopter that took Rick Grimes. You will see a very specific piece of the people that took Rick Grimes in 2 weeks on Fear the Walking Dead. You will see more of them later. And there will be a big movie announcement regarding the release of the Rick Grimes movies / how those movies will be released. Let's say that. That will be coming soon.
That was a lot of surface stuff you just gave us. That was good.
No, well then nobody knows that. If you think about what I just said, it's big.
You were just breaking.
There will be news about how the Rick Grimes movies will be released soon.
Oh.
I can't say it because I don't want to piss anybody off.
I think you should.
I've already-
You should just do it.
I pissed people off when I broke the news about Austin Melio going over there. So I don't want to.
Well, tell you what, we'll just change the subject. Kim wants to know, why aren't DC and WB doing a joint streaming service? Funny, you should ask
They
them.
are soon.
They might be.
Yeah, it seems that's the rumor.
That seems to be kind of, if DC Universe is going to be pulling back a little bit on this, it makes sense that they would join there. I mean, because Warner Brothers, without the DC stuff on Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers is hard to even pitch a streaming service.
Yeah.
You know, like HBO.
You've got Harry Potter. That's about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have the DC,
I mean,
but
there's a good video.
You have
catalog.
all the DC properties, but you have Harry Potter, you have HBO shows, and you just don't have, I think, enough interest. You should have launched your streaming service before Game of Thrones ended. That's what they should have done. And then also had other original content surrounding that. They're behind the 8 ball here. They have to play catch up, and that just seems very common with Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
They're always playing catch up, and it's tough because you're going to have to compete now with Disney Plus, with Netflix, with Hulu, and everybody else who's going to have a streaming service.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough out
It's hard
there.
out here in the streets.
Yeah, we're about to go to the same place there.
All right. I think that's a good, why cancel Swamp Thing? DC Universe, you need to figure out your brains. I'm with you, Mark. Guys, thank you so much for asking questions. You're welcome for answering them. I just can't commit to Fear the Walking Dead after suffering through the first seasons. Brad, just watch season 3. It's really good. This is Comic Book Now. We do it every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. This handsome young devil is Chris Killian, a.k.a. Batman. I'm Brandon Davis, Call Me BD. We'll see you next week. Bye.